Hello, everybody. It's Friday. That means it's time for another topic of the week. So, first things first, normal preamble. Last week's topic on Shadespire. Lots of good responses in the comments there on what people think. I think the general tone seems to be one of excitement. I think most people are looking at the upside. That even if they don't like the game, they're excited to see more models. I think the release of the Death Rattle stuff, was just sort of a proof point of that, right? That's an army that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, and people are excited to know that they could get heroes or figs for any force. And maybe we got some more of that spoiled this week when we had the little Skaven tail during the rumor engine picture. So maybe that'll end up being for the Shadespire Skaven crew. We'll see. Time will tell. Good responses there as well from video, including a first-time responder, the Miniatures Paintbrush. Go check it out. Pretty awesome. So I was happy. I'm always happy to see new people jump in the ring, do a response, go back, do yourself a favor, watch the video. Has some great thoughts on it. So that's last week's topic. Now, let's talk about this week. So with the imminent release here, while you're watching this, it's probably already happened. In some parts of the world, it's already happened and they're being delivered, of the Caradron Overlords that we talked about on Warhammer Weekly this week. Of course, they are... people are loving these, but of course there are a group of people who also hate them. They might be a minority, but they have an intense, undying, fiery hatred for the little overlords. And that got me thinking about models that we hate. In a history of the game, this wide and long spanning, basically 35 years now, there are bound to be models that perhaps we have a special place in our heart for, of hatred. Right there. Just it's down there. It's in the bottom part of the heart where we keep our hate and those models. And so I got to thinking about models that I particularly hate, and I realized I'd never copied this, or I'd never done this, on as a topic of the week. So I thought, hey, why not? Let's talk about it. And it lined up well because at the same time that I was thinking about the Overlords, I'm also painting up a little replacement Keeper of Secrets here. And if there's one thing I hate, it's the original Keeper of Secrets model, the actual current, still one for that matter, the dumb metal anteater crab claw thing that is just hideous and awful, and I hate everything about it from top to bottom. But it is not, in fact, my pick for the most hated. In fact, my most hated model comes in one of my favorite armies, an army I love almost despite its range of miniatures, and an army that I hope sees some kind of improvement at some point in time, and that is the forces of the Demons of Slaanesh. And their keeper being a big offender. The metal keepers I'm talking about here, not the Forge World version, which is, on the flip side, one of the most gorgeous models ever produced. But no, I'm talking about the metal one. So much of that Slaanesh range to me is so just offensive and awful. And yet, I have a whole army and love it. So it's a real strange situation I find myself in. But in that army, it contains truly one of the worst figures, I believe, that has ever been produced by the hand of man. And that is right here. That is this little guy. Okay? Yeah. The Slaanesh Anteater, Steam Cooker, Crab, whatever this thing is. I truly, truly hate this model to the depth of my soul. I don't know what this thing is or meant to be, or it's just this weird horse thing with backwards legs and an ugly face. And it's also just a hunk of solid metal that breaks so easily. Like, if this fell out of my fingers right now, even though this is pinned completely, right? Like, this whole thing is pinned. Every arm, every leg. In fact, I can see a little scratch where I had pinned it or where I had, where it broke off. Like, I can see where I had to you can't see that, but that doesn't matter. Where I had to re-glue on arms from some previous time he dropped off a table or something. I hate this model. So, that's this week's topic. What is your most hated model in the history of Wargaming? It could be from any range. I don't really care what it's from. There are so many I love. You know, this army also contains some of my favorite in the Juan Diaz Daemonettes, the Forge World Keeper Secrets, etc. But it also contains this abomination, this atrocity. So, your vote for your worst miniature that has ever been produced for your wargame. There you go. That's what I want to know. Drop in the comments down below, or of course make a response video highlighting your own terrible, terrible figure. Especially if you've actually had to collect it for an army, like you hate the figure, but it's in an army that you otherwise loved, like this little guy is for me. That's what I'd really love to know. So, if you've got a fig like the Fiend of Slaanesh that you hate as much, and is in an army you otherwise love, or just maybe it's a fig you hate and didn't collect the army because of it, put it down below, make a response video. Those videos will also be linked down below, so you can always return back to this and watch those. Look forward to your responses, as always. See you next time.